Welcome back to another episode of the Rational Football League Show. My name's Emmett. I'm here with my co-host, Brendyn Ford.
What's up, y'all?
We are going to look at Michael Penix Jr.'s draft profile today. We're also going to discuss the Bears' future plans at the draft with Justin Fields and what we think they should do. But before we get into all that, let's start off with the obvious. You guys can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and Twitter. We do post videos every week. We always love to talk to you guys, so feel free to always leave a comment down in the comment section on any of those. But with that beat, let's get into the news of the week. Aaron Rodgers has announced that he will not play this season, but he expects to play in 2024. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Do you think he ever really had a chance to play this year, or was it just to kind of like keep his name relevant?
I think it's kind of a mixture of both. I think if the Jets would have made the playoffs, he could have pushed it. I think I was doing a little bit of like reading between the lines, and I kind of get his point. Like, I think he was basically saying the season's over. Like, what's the point going out there and pushing it if I'm not 100% healed right now? Which is fair. But yeah, I think he could have if they would have made the playoffs. But I don't know, man. What are your thoughts on it?
I agree. I think that's pretty much what happened. I think if they were still in the playoff hunt, he would try to push it to come back. But since he's not, it's like, why risk it for no reason? I mean, the only explanation I can think of for trying to push through is maybe you start building a little bit of in-game chemistry, but not really worth it.
Yeah, it's kind of like whatever.
Moving on to some other aging veterans, Ndamukong Suh has started his playoff team tour. He's visiting first with the Dolphins, looking at reunion. He's got a couple of visits lined up with some other playoff-bound teams. What do you think about this? Is it worth the Dolphins for a reunion? Do we go to see Ndamukong Suh in another Super Bowl?
Yeah, it could. I mean, I don't see why not. You know, they need the depth, and how great of a life does Suh have right now? You know, doesn't have to play for like 18 weeks or whatever. Just shows up in playoffs. Like, okay, let's go chase his ring now. And then
I'm here, guys.
Take another like 8 months off and comes back. All right, man, what's up? Like, he is living life right now. It's awesome to see. So I'm curious to see what team signs him.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the 49ers definitely have a need at defensive tackle right now. I think Javon Hargrave and Eric Armstead are not likely to play this week. So there could be a potential union there. But, I mean, obviously, what playoff team couldn't use a solid defensive tackle at this point in the season?
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of which, Jim Harbaugh has been linked to the Chargers after the dismissal of Brandon Staley. Do you think he's finally ready to return to the NFLB? Is this the offseason he does it?
I don't know. I just feel like he has like his own camp and team that's like, hey, push out any rumor you got out there. Just keep pushing it because it increases my leverage with U of M. And it's like, okay, it's weird. So we've been hearing rumors for past like 5 years. It feels like every year it's like 10 team comes out. Oh yeah, they're linked to Harbaugh. Okay, really? People kept saying too. I heard a couple sports shows this week that like if U of M does win the title, then he could go back to the pros and be like, because what else is there to really do at the college level? So I guess maybe, but I don't know, dude. I feel like this is kind of going off random like tangent. I feel like if I were him, I would rather go to the pros because it actually seems like it's a little bit like less. It's weird. It feels weird to say less stress and less work, right? Because like you don't have to like recruit players and deal with all of the money BS and all that stuff. And like it's an 80-hour week in the pros versus like a 100-hour week at the college level and all that stuff. So he could just be like done. Screw it. I know he has a couple like every week. There's new like rumors about the U of M program and potentially him being suspended for some portion next year or whatnot. So I don't know, man. Maybe if they win and he's tired of this the NCAA BS, maybe. But I guess we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna hold my breath on it.
I know as an Ohio State fan, I'm sure you would love to see him leave Michigan and go back to the pros.
Hey, we're still 5-3 against them, baby. Come on now.
That's true. It's true. You absolutely are. I'm saying,
Yep.
I'm sure it wouldn't hurt either, especially if we went to the Bears. I'm sure you would be like, "Hey, get the fuck out of Michigan, dude."
Man, if he was like, "Hey, I'm going to such a shy town for sure," I'll go pick him up right now if he wants to come over. come on over.
I got my private jet. Go pick him up. Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ohio State guys, CJ Stroud will miss his second week with a concussion, which is very concerning that the concussion's that serious. Do you think the Texans can pull off an upset 2 weeks in a row, or does the Browns' magical run under Joe Flacco continue?
Yeah, I think the Browns are gonna win that game. Unfortunately, I am rooting for the Texans. I know we had a little love fest with Texans fans for the past couple weeks here, but I mean, dude, like that Browns defense is like for real. Anything about it, they're already without Tank Dell for the rest of the season. That's a given. So they're already down a weapon, and now they're down. They're starting quarterback against this Browns defense. I don't know. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But I'm hoping. I didn't look up the playoff picture for the Texans right now, so I think they're still on the outside looking in after winning last week. Maybe.
Well, I think they're actually tied for the division because they won last week against the. I think they played the Colts, did they? No, they played the Colts, but they won last week, and then the Jaguars lost to the Ravens. I think it was Monday Night Football.
They beat the Titans last week.
Titans, that's what it was. So they should be tied with the Jags for first place in the division. I think the Colts won too, so that puts a three-way tie for the AFC South.
If my internet worked better, I'll be able to look this up. So it's like a three-way tie. I don't know what the tiebreakers are like, but the Jags, Colts, and Texans are all at 8 and 6 right now. And I don't know who beat who yet for the tiebreaker.
I think the Texans beat the Jags because I remember we discussed that before, but I don't remember if the Colts have the tiebreaker over the Texans. And then the Jags
I'm just looking at Google right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Google, and they have it listed as like Jags, Colts, and then Texans. So I don't know if that factors in. Like I'm not on NFL.com, so I don't know how valid that is, but it is ranked Jaguars, Colts, and then Texans. So I don't know.
Yeah. And I know the Texans have one more game against Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's kind of reeling right now after that loss to the Ravens. I think the Jags play Tampa this week, correct? In Tampa?
Yep. It's almost like a must win. It's almost a must win for the Jags, man.
Oh, yeah.
And this is actually really surprising, because I thought going into the season that the Jags would just run away with the South.
Is it really surprising? Is it really surprising? Because I'm pretty sure.
To me, it was.
I don't remember who was discussing a couple of weeks ago. Someone mentioned that the Texans have a really good chance of winning the AFC South. Who was that?
Like before the season started?
No. It was a couple of weeks ago. They were discussing it. Well, I think.
Well, that's why I said it's really, really surprising to me because like before the season started, I was like, yeah, the Jags should easily win. Like. Yeah, other teams have a rookie quarterback. It should be an easy win for like the Jags here. They should win 10+ games easily, whatever. But I guess if the Texans could win, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Colts and Jags fans, but if the Texans can win it, I don't know.
That's who it was. I remember who was discussing it a couple weeks ago. They said that someone called it. They said, "Oh, the Texans are going to win the AFC South." It was us. That's who it was. That's why.
Oh, was it? That's how you're weighing up the whole. Oh yeah, of course. If y'all want to go watch that video, we posted about like three weeks ago now.
Yeah, something like that. Where we were looking at we initially were actually looking at the Texans' chances of making the playoffs, and then we went, hold on here. They're only a game behind Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got a rough schedule at the end of the year. Is there a chance the Texans pull this off and win the AFC South? They're neck and neck now. Just saying. I don't know.
I didn't know that's where you're going with it, but we end up finding the end zone together, so we got it.
Insert one chance win way to be where you like thought loves it up. Yeah. We killed it. I'm pretty sure that in this scenario, I think LeBron missed the dunk, but that's okay.
Did he really in that picture? Damn.
No, never mind. Anyway,
For us.
yeah,
I got you.
there you go.
Moving on.
Moving on. Jamar Chase is not expected to play this week for the Bengals against the Steelers, which they are in a tight race for the AFC North for the wild card. Actually, I think the Ravens are running away with the division, but they're both in contention for a wild card spot. Do you think it's possible now down the quarterback, now down the receiver? Can they keep their playoff hopes alive against the Steelers?
I think so. I think the Steelers have Mason Rudolph going for them this week. I think good old Mitchell's hurt.
Well, I don't think he's hurt. I think so.
I thought I heard that this week. Wait, he got benched?
Yeah, they benched Trubisky. They benched Trubisky at the end of the game last week for Mason Rudolph. But he was terrible.
Bro, can we just talk about this for a second? He was once. I don't want to name which team here. Okay, we're not pointing fingers.
No.
We're not pointing fingers.
No.
But he was once a top 2 pick, and he got benched for a backup, bro. Come on, man. I can tell though. Like I think he lost like all ambition to play at high level. It's like because there's no way he was that bad during his time in like Chi-Town, bro. There's no way. Like I think he just doesn't even like prep anymore. He's like, it's my like life now, you know. It's just what I do. Like he just does not have that drive anymore.
Yeah.
He just looks bad, dude. Oh my god, that's wild. I still have the Bengals winning.
Yeah, me too. And we also won't mention the team that fleeced the other team to get them to move up to 2 to take Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, you know, it's just water under the bridge. It's really like a small like caption, like history books right now. Like it's not even worth noting. Actually,
exactly.
It's kind of whatever.
And we won't mention what that team drafted with the 3rd round pick they got from the other team that won't be mentioned. And it definitely wasn't a linebacker who's right now an All-Pro for that team that ended up picking 3rd.
It's really just not even worth bringing up. You know? Like it's really whatever. I don't think people really care about that.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Tyreek Hill is expected to play this week. For those that don't know, we probably should close that joke out. The Bears traded with the 49ers up to the number 3 pick for a later 3rd round pick, which the 49ers.
You don't have to explain. People already know. We already said this.
Which the 49ers then ended up using to draft Fred Warner out of BYU. So, again, I'm not sure if everyone...
That's actually new to me. I actually didn't know that.
See, it's a good thing we explained it.
Like the Warner piece.
Yeah, so the pick the Bears sent to the 49ers, they used to draft Fred Warner in the 3rd round.
Well, I guess you learned something new about how bad the Bears org is. So that's fine.
Last but not least, Tyreek Hill, who missed last week, is expected to play this week against the Cowboys. This is a big matchup for both teams. Both have a reputation of being great teams who can't seem to beat other good teams. So something's got to give at some point here. We'll give our thoughts a little bit later on that in our games of the week. But I know we're both excited for Tyreek Hill to be back. He's such an electric player to watch, and he's chasing 2,000 yards. I think he's only about 500 yards away still.
Yeah, so he needs like a monster game to get back on pace.
Yeah, he does. Which I'm hoping he doesn't because I play against him in fantasy this week. So,
dude, he's got to just accept his fate.
It's fate. It's fate. I'm gonna get washed in
just let it happen. There's hope. Everyone else on his team is like nothing, and then just let Hill just go off.
Everyone else shits the bed, and Tyreek Hill can have 50 yards. Fine. I guess I'll make that deal.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys, that does conclude our news of the week segment. I know we kind of discussed a little. We were discussing Michael Penix Jr. and how we'd fix the Bears. But before we do get to that, a great reveal on how we feel about Penix and his underperforming at Washington, or underperforming expectations of him. We're going to start with a different team in purple. We're going to turn the segment over to our Turn on the Spotlight segment. We're going to be discussing a undrafted free agent linebacker, Ivan Pace Jr. out of Cincinnati. He currently plays for the Vikings. He's their starting middle linebacker now, I believe, right?
Yep.
Perfect. So we're going to turn the spotlight onto him and let B tell you a little bit about Ivan Pace Jr.
Yeah, dude, I'm really excited that you told me that we should watch film on him because even though my team plays them twice a year, I didn't really pay this guy any attention. Didn't really notice him that much, but his story is awesome. So, like E already said, he's an undrafted rookie linebacker for the Vikings, and after watching his film and stuff like that, I'm almost convinced that he is one of not the best like off the ball rookie linebackers in this season. Like he's been playing super well. As of right now, he has 77 total tackles, 2.5 sacks, one forced fumble, and one pick. So this dude's all over the place. What I really like about this guy, though, um, he's only 5'10". Like, so you look at him as like, oh, so he's a little bit smaller, so whatever. He's 5'10", 230 pounds, but this dude plays so fast. Before we get to his strengths, though, let me tell you about his background. He went to Miami, Ohio, not Miami, the Red Hawks. He played there for 3 seasons, had okay-ish career there, then transferred to Cincy for his senior season for the 2022 season. This is where he just took off. He was voted AP All-American and the AAC Defensive Player of the Year. He ranked 6th in the FBS, the entire nation, in tackles, with 137 tackles and 3rd in tackles for loss, dude. So he was like all over the place. Had 10 sacks too. So that's kind of the background on him, his college, what his like makeup is, right? But let's talk about like, his play style. And this is why I'm actually a pretty big fan. He is tough, dude. Like after watching maybe a minute of his film, I could tell like he plays ball the right way. He is tough and he lets you know, like you know when you get hit by him. Like he's one of those guys that like, dude, he will come down the gap, shoot it, and he'll just like boom, like he'll dump you, bro. And despite his lack of length, he's strong. Like I think he might be pound for pound one of the strongest guys in the league because again, he's 5'10", y'all. He's 5'10", not playing like nickel or safety. He's playing middle linebacker. And he's shedding blocks like it's like nothing. And he really uses his quickness in tight space too, because obviously you have 300-pound people coming at you and you're 5'10", 230, you're gonna use your like quickness, right? So he uses like the swim, the club, hand swipe moves, like they can't land any like hand on him really. And then I already kind of touched on this, but in the run game, his instincts are great. Like when he sees the flow, when he sees a gap open, he just shoots. Like you see him, like there's no like false step either. He's just like boom, go. Like see ball, get ball. This dude plays ball the right way, and they also blitz him a lot too, which makes sense. After watching his Cincy film, he blitzed a shit ton. He had 10 sacks. Like this is what he does. And the Brian Flores defense, guess what? They blitz a lot. They run a lot of cover 0, a lot of cover 1, bringing 5, 6 people, and he's always blitzing. So this is actually too like I want to give kudos to the Viking staff at the front office for finding him. Because like this is almost like a match made in heaven with his skill set and Brian Flores' defense. And also, dude, like I already said, he's just a great ball player. Like he plays ball the right way. I'm excited to see him grow. And again, I think he's one of, not the best rookie linebackers out of the what would be 2023 class then.
So
And
I'm curious.
that's my breakdown.
My eyes kind of lit up when you mentioned something because you say he was 5'10", and he's undrafted. How is he in coverage? Were you able to tell me a little bit how he's in coverage?
Yeah, so I kind of left that piece out a little bit. So I didn't see a whole lot of like, yeah. So it was kind of hard to say. I watched the Cincy film, and they didn't have him in coverage a whole lot. I think there was a couple plays where he made plays in like zone, I guess, right? But for his Vikings tape, he is sometimes in coverage, but it's mainly like on like close to the line of scrimmage. Either he's going on blitz or they run like they drop 8. It's kind of like whatever. But I mean, he's not awful. But in comparison, if you remember my Terrell Bernard breakdown, like he's the middle linebacker for like the Bills. Their play style is a little bit different. Like Bernard's strength was in coverage. He was super fast, right? I think he might have been like a former safety too at some point in his career. So like that makes sense. Whereas like Pace Jr., like I wouldn't have him in man coverage against like a tight end or like a back because he's just not like
Interesting.
fast like that. You know what I mean?
But you probably argue he's probably a pretty sure tackler, right? Really good, throws his body around, willing to lay the wood, like you kind of mentioned.
This dude is like a pit bull, bro. Like he is a tackling machine. He'll come down. He is like aggressive and he is tough, dude. Like he'll come down like boom now. Yeah. So
Well,
whenever
maybe
he
it's
see a
not.
gap or like he's really good with like the flow, yeah, he is, dude. He is hidden.
Interesting. Maybe he's not like a pit bull. Maybe he's more like an English bulldog, because you know who he sounds like. He reminds me of. Well, the reason I was saying
Who?
English bulldog, London Fletcher. Remember him?
Oh.
Played for
Yeah.
Washington for a
Yeah.
long time. 5'10", undersized linebacker, undrafted, out of
Yeah.
John Carroll University. Sure tackler,
I can see
underappreciated.
that.
Yeah, and then he said
Yeah.
fast, I was like, I don't know. That's why I was googling. I was trying to look at the information on London Fletcher quick. I was like, wait a minute, how tall was London Fletcher specifically? Oh, wait, was he drafted? He was also undrafted. Interesting. History doesn't always
That's
repeat
interesting.
itself, but it does rhyme.
Yeah.
Do they
Yeah,
have themselves the
he
next London
jogs
Fletcher?
so Pace Jr. can like sprint. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I this is another kudos to the way that Pace Jr. plays ball because when I first watched him, like his film, he plays
Mm-hmm.
a lot bigger than like 5'10". I had no clue he was 5'10". You know, obviously he's not like super tall, but I was like, oh yeah, it's probably like 6 feet, 6
Yeah.
1 maybe. Because he was just going up and like meeting blockers, like meeting like these guards and centers with no problem, shedding or like, hand swiping. I'm like, oh damn, okay. But when I looked up his actual draft profile, and by the way, scouts were wrong on him, dude. They gave him like a score of 5 out of like what's there, like 5 out of 8 or 10, and 5 means like average backup. No, dude, this dude's gonna
Yeah.
play for a while. Like
Yeah, he's gonna be
this
started.
dude's a bona fide starter, and this guy can play ball. So, no man, I am pumped to
Interesting.
watch him play.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Again, except the minute you start mentioning, I was like, huh, that sounds an awful lot like London Fletcher. And that kind of just name felt like a blast from the past for me. Interesting. All right. Well, thank you for that awesome breakdown, B. Good to know. Good to know a little more
yes
about
sir.
Ivan Pace Jr. I'm excited to watch him. I know the Vikings play this week against the Lions. We do have them in our games of the week segment, which is coming up right now. So let's actually just hop right into that. So for those that don't know,
Yes
now
sir.
you know, we do an NFL games of the week. We pick 4 games that we think will be close competitive games. We give our thoughts on them. We think is going to be a winner. I think last week we did okay. I think I went. How did we go last week?
Yeah.
2-1.
Yeah, I went 2-1. You're 1-2.
Oh,
The
bad
Bucks
week for
came
Emmett.
through. Bucks came through for me.
Dang.
They
Well, I
beat
got
the
a
moldy
rematch.
cheese up north.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm happy to be wrong about that. But it's time for me to bounce back this week. We do have 4 exciting games. We're going to look at the 49ers Ravens. We're going to discuss the Cowboys Dolphins, the Jags Buccaneers, and then the Lions and Vikings. Starting off with the potential Super Bowl preview, Ravens 49ers game. It's going to be in Santa Clara. The 49ers are favored by 6. ESPN predictor is giving the 49ers a 64% chance of winning. The weather's going to be 59 and overcast. And we did mention, or you did mention in the pre-show, that there's a chance it might rain, which plays into the Ravens' favor. So, B, give me your thoughts. Who are you taking in this one?
You know, I was like pretty sure of my answer, but when we went through all of the like the spread and like the probabilities, all this stuff, I was like, is this a trap game? Like, why are the numbers so skewed to the side that I want? Like, it just feels like fishy, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
almost like Vegas wants us to take that side, but they know something else. Like, I don't know, it's weird. But I'm gonna stick with the faithful here. I'll go with the Niners. I think. I mean, like you already said, these are the top 2 teams in the whole like league. So it's really could be like a coin toss. But I like the Niners at home. I think that they're going to handle business. Yeah, give me the Niners.
I'm gonna take the Ravens. That way, no matter what happens on Monday, at least I'm okay with something here. Give me the Ravens for a couple reasons here. According to DVOA, these 2 teams are very comparable. They're 49ers, I think, are number one in offense. And the 49ers are number one in offense. Ravens are like number one in defense. And then the 49ers, I believe, are number 4 in defense, and the Ravens are like number 5 or 6 in defense. I'm sorry, in offense. But the big difference between the two is the Ravens are top 5, I believe it's top 5 in special teams versus the 49ers, who are 23rd in special teams. That's field goals, punt, kickoff, kick coverage, punt coverage, stuff like that. And that field position could be playing a pivotal role. Another reason I'm also taking the Ravens in this is Eric Armstead is unlikely to play. The 49ers star Pro Bowl D tackle. Javon Hargrave has been banged up. I don't believe if there's been confirmation whether he's playing or not on Monday. And the 49ers and the Ravens are a great run the ball team. So the 49ers might be susceptible up the middle this week without those two, big dudes playing there, as we saw kind of last week against against the Seahawks, who were able to run for, I believe it was over 200 yards or something like that against them. So, and that's the strength of what the Ravens want to do. They want to be able to run the ball. They want to be able to get Lamar Jackson on the edge and be able to use his legs. And also, if it does actually start raining, that does play into the Ravens' favor, because obviously then you don't want to be throwing the ball anyway. It becomes a slot fest. You want to hand the ball off a bunch, which again all plays into the Ravens' strength. For those reasons and more, I'm going to take the Ravens this week. So you got 49ers. I'm taking Ravens. Moving on to our next game.
I think.
Go on.
I think
Sorry.
too. Can I say something real quick? I think for betting purposes, if y'all do gamble out there, I think Ravens +6 is probably a good move. Like, even though I think the Niners will win, 6 points. I mean, like, that seems like a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it could be like a 3-point game, right? So, yeah. So I might take that bet. I just want to say that for the gambling folks out there.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good bet either way. I mean, 6 points, it's a whole touchdown against the two top teams in the league. So
yeah, it's wild.
Moving on to our Cowboys-Dolphins game. The game will be in Miami. Like we said before, these are two teams that are notorious for not being able to beat top-tier teams. They seem to really just struggle in that department, and they beat up on the littler teams. And add insult to injury in that kind of regard. The Cowboys, 3 or 4 losses of the season have all come on the road. They're now on the road again in Miami this week against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored by 2 points. ESPN predictor is giving the Dolphins a 49.7% chance of winning, so it's pretty much split. And it's going to be 76 degrees and sunny, so weather shouldn't be a factor in this game. I'll let you go first again. Who are you taking and why?
Okay, this one's tough, dude. I was just looking up real quick before I got to do this in a pregame show. I wanted to see the list of Cowboys injuries, because I know there were like a random flu bug going around their team last week or something, supposedly before the game, before they got their ass whoops. So I don't know, dude. Like, I was looking at it. Okay, no, it looks clean. It's tough because you already mentioned they're two like immovable objects here, right? Neither team wants to win a big game. Like, it just seems like it. Cowboys struggle on like the road. Tyreek Hill being banged up throws a wrench in this for me too, because I want to pick the Fins with the assumption that Hill's playing, but if he's not, I want to go Cowboys. I don't know. I just gotta pick a side. I'll go. I'll go with the Fins. I think they're a little bit more of a complete team, and they're at home. But watch this be the one time, because usually I pick the Cowboys. These close games, is hoping they have to win this one. They have to win this one. Break that, road game curse. Like, you have to win a big one here, and they never do. And watch this be the week that they finally do when I don't pick them. But give me the Fins.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to take the Fins on this one as well. Again, they are the home team. That helps out a little bit. And I really just don't trust the Cowboys on the road. I mean, they put up a complete stinker against Buffalo, who's a really good team. Miami's defense has been improving throughout the year with the return of Jalen Ramsey. Xavier Howard, I believe, is still healthy. I can list all these players for Miami, but the Cowboys have equal parts to relate to. But here's an additional factor that we'll include. Mike McDaniel has been with Kyle Shanahan, for many seasons. He's been there with the 49ers play the Cowboys in the playoffs and beat them. He's been there while the Cowboys have not been able to beat Kyle Shanahan's 49ers. So he knows the blueprint on how to get through to this Cowboys defense. So that is an additional wrinkle.
Right.
And then
Mastermind
the counteracted.
McDaniel. Okay. All right.
Then the counteracted, and just to throw another loop into this, Dan Quinn also played with coached with Kyle Shanahan in Atlanta, and has been very effective in at least slowing down his offense whenever they played. I think the last time they played in the NFL divisional round, the 49ers only put up 19 points, and the final score was 19-12. The year before they played in the divisional round, I believe it was 21-13 or something was the final, something like that. So, but I'm keeping rolling with that. So I'm gonna take the Dolphins in this one, keeping that Shanahan winning streak alive.
Come on, Fins. Come on, Fins.
Which is funny because whenever we pick the same team, it never works out well for us. So
it never works out. So this is like a guarantee Cowboys win. So
yeah, no, might as well put money on that now. Next on, we got Jags Bucks, the battle for Florida for who's the most white trash team in the state of Florida. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Florida. You're okay. You're wonderful. No, you're not. You're okay. The game will be in Florida for sure, but this one will specifically be in Tampa. The Bucks are going to be favored by 1.5 points. So again, another even split game. ESPN predictor is giving the Jags a 50.1% chance of winning. So again, it's pretty much split down the middle. And the weather's going to be 73 degrees and sunny because, of course, it's winter in Florida. Why would it not be 73 degrees and perfect? B, who are you going to take in the battle of Florida?
Of course. This is tough because I have my own personal bias just because I want the Texans to win the South. I'm not even a Texans fan. I just want that story. So I want the Bucks to win. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with my gut here though. I'll go with the Jags, even though it's a really close line. I do think the Jags are a better overall team. They've been struggling the past couple weeks. Hopefully, it's a get right game for them. Get back on track. Give me the Jags in the Battle of Florida.
I'm gonna take the Bucks in this one. Trevor Lawrence has not looked healthy since he had his high ankle sprain a couple weeks ago. He doesn't seem to be moving around as much. They face another tough defense. Tampa has a top 15 defense. They've got really good players that play above what your expectations for them normally would be. I think if Baker Mayfield could play a clean game and not give the ball over to a defense in Jacksonville that's very opportunistic, I think the Bucks can easily walk away with a win in this one. So
I like it.
What I'm saying is, come Monday, the Texans may be in first place for the AFC South.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping for it. Let's see it.
Moving on to our final game, we have the Lions-Vikings in an NFC North heavyweight fight, which has kind of been surprising, especially from Minnesota's perspective. They're on their fourth quarterback now this year. The game is Vikings? Going to be The game is going to be in Minnesota. The Lions are favored by 3. The ESPN predictor is giving the Lions a 60% chance of winning. The game will be in a dome, so weather again will not be a factor in this one. B, who are you taking in this NFC North heavyweight match?
This game has the potential to be really, really funny. Only because I like seeing the Lions lose games that they shouldn't lose, and then the fans freak out on Twitter. But I think I'm gonna go with the Lions here. They looked sharp. Blanking. Who did the Lions just play at home? I just don't remember. Whatever. They look strong in the past couple weeks. They beat someone at home. I thought it was pretty. I can't remember now. I guess short-term memory loss. I don't know. The offense has been pretty good. So they played against the Saints a couple weeks ago. They scored 21 in the first quarter, and then for the life of me, I can't remember who they played last week. But the offense looked pretty in tune there. And then, like you already mentioned, the Vikings are starting Nick Mullins. They lost a close one in Cincy, a game that they should have won. But they kind of shot themselves in like the foot. So give me Lions here.
Yeah, I was trying to help you out look up the game, but for some reason my signal is just not working with me right now, so I can't get pulled up.
My brain's not working.
I'm going to go with the Lions in this one as well. Again, kind of like I mentioned against the Bears and the Lions, this is a game you have to win if you want to be a serious playoff team. I get the Vikings are playing an above average year for them. Their defense, who was it?
I was about to say that for those who were screaming at us, it was the Broncos. They won 42-17 last week. Complete ass whooping.
Yeah. So what's crazy to me is the Lions seem to really struggle in their interdivisional games. They won a close one against the Bears, then lost against the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they also lose to the Packers?
They lost to the Packers. Yeah. Yeah, on Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah, so they just seem to be a team that really just can't handle divisional teams too well. But I do think this is a get right game for them. Again, you have to win these matchups. I mean, it's not only for
sorry. And internally, it's probably a lot of focus in this week too, because next week they play Dallas at Dallas. So for playoff seedings, like you have to win this week because next week's is another tough game. So I'm sure they're treating this almost like a playoff game there. And like, listen, boys, we have to go get this one.
Yeah. So for that, I'm gonna give me the Lions in this one again. It's an explosive offense. The defense plays really well. They're a tough, hard-nosed defense. I think Campbell gets them locked in this week. And coming off a 42-17 win over a good Broncos team, that's got to be a good ego boost. Yeah, give me the Lions in this one.
Hell yeah.
I like the Lions in this one. So let's see. We both picked the Lions. No, I picked Lions. You picked Vikings, right?
I picked Lions.
Okay, both Lions. You picked Jags.
Both
Lions. Bucks. Both Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
And then I picked Ravens. You picked 49ers.
Yep.
Interesting. Why don't you guys go down in the comment section and let us know what you think. Do you agree with our choices? Who would you take in these 4 games? Write down and give us a like and subscribe. With that, we are going to move finally on to the segments of the week. For those who have skipped ahead in this video to get to this point to see what we thought about Michael Penix Jr., welcome back. You missed a couple fun topics. I would recommend you go back and check out our Ivan Pace Spotlight portion. We did a great breakdown on him and his comparisons to London Fletcher. But with that, we are going to get into the Michael Penix draft profile. And I'm going to be honest with you, B, it's kind of we're getting to a point with these draft profiles where I'm starting to get really disappointed in this quarterback draft. I mean, so far we've discussed.
Oh no.
We've discussed Drake May. We've discussed Michael Penix Jr. We've discussed Jaden Daniels, and none of them have really blown us away. And like, wow, this guy's a surefire, can't miss kind of prospect. That trend does continue with Michael Penix Jr., a guy who I had a lot of high hopes for going into this draft or going to this video. So the games I watched were his Washington State and Oregon Pac-12 championship. But just a little history of Michael Penix Jr. He did start his college career off in Indiana, where he suffered 2 ACL tears and a shoulder injury before transferring to Washington last year. He did have a great season last year. He threw for over 4,000 yards. I think he led the country or was top 2 in the country in touchdowns. Helped get the Huskies to a 10-2 record. Just barely missing out on the CFP playoffs. Bounce back this year. We had him predicted Huskies predicted to actually make the playoffs this year, which seems to have really landed well. Go check out that video.
It did. It did.
Yeah. He's a strong-arm quarterback. He's got a laser cannon attached to his shoulder. He has overcome his injuries the past 2 seasons. He has been clean. I don't think he's missed any games. He's been fantastic. He has a great deep ball. Now, I do want to get to the problems that we do kind of see with him. He has some of the worst throwing mechanics I've seen in a long time. He throws like a 3/4 release.
No.
He has inconsistent footwork that leads to accuracy issues. And kind of like I just mentioned, he's got this big arm, and it almost kind of acts against him because he doesn't throw a whole lot with anticipation either. And he tries doing too much. He tries forcing it in too much. He'll throw off his back foot. He'll throw off a terrible platform, all arm, and just loses a lot of the accuracy on it. He'll sail balls to guys that are, wide open. He doesn't set guys up for yak very well. He can throw a ball to a spot. Like if you just tell him, hey, man, throw it 50 yards and hit the 50-yard line, he could probably do that. But he's not leading guys too well. We saw only a few incidences of it. He doesn't really look comfortable throwing on the run. His accuracy is pretty much 50-50 whenever he takes off like that. You're either going to get a dime from him or you're going to get a ball in the dirt.
Yeah.
So,
hey, E.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a quick question too. Do you often see, and like your breakdown is awesome, but do you often see quarterbacks with big arms tend to not throw with anticipation often, or with rhythm and timing often, because they're like, hey, I got this cannon right here. I can make this throw. I don't need to throw it when the receiver's breaking, but I can more see it throw it. Or do you think this is something that like he just doesn't have this tool in his like kit? Like this is not built in him.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So what I've kind of noticed is kind of with him a little bit like Lamar Jackson, a little bit. I think who else were we discussing about earlier? Either way, I think it was Caleb
I
Williams who we
said
were discussing with.
his gameplay kind of reminds me of like Kirk Cousins a little bit, because he's more a pocket guy, has a strong arm. I sometimes make fun the way he runs or lack of running, but that's for my own internal jokes. But because he's just, guys, if you gotta go watch the film, he's not going anywhere. So that's why I kind of said like the Kirk Cousins stuff, because he'll move a little bit, but he's not creating space, y'all. He's not going to take off and run for a first down.
He's not shaking and making.
He's a statue back there.
Yeah, I've noticed the guys with the big arms, they do tend to not throw with anticipation. They know they have a big enough arm that they can fit it into a tight window. They could beat the corner to a spot. So they seem to allow themselves the ability to wait to confirm that this route's open. Because even with Michael Penix specifically, I mean, there was a lot of times where I was watching, he would get to the right guy, but then he would just kind of hold it and pause on it until he knew for a fact it was going to get open and throw it. So, and he's not really he could probably learn to throw with anticipation, but I just don't think he sees the value in it because he can get the ball there. I mean, in a snap. So he just kind of lets things develop, waits till the guy's out of his break and knows this guy's open, and then throws. It was also kind of funny, as I did notice a little bit in the video, a couple of the videos, it almost, when he does throw with anticipation, it almost kind of hurts him. Because I think it was the first game I watched against Washington State, it was one of the first throws where he threw the guy where he thought he was going to be, but the receiver got held out of his break on the comeback, which caused him to be late. The ball got there too quick, and it looked like a ridiculous pass. It was one of those ones where I was like, so it kind of makes me wonder if that's like the kind of stuff that teaches him, hey, maybe I shouldn't throw with anticipation. I should wait until the guy gets out of his break so I can see if he got held out of his break or something like that and get to him on time. Because if I just throw it where I think he's going to get there, it's going to get there too quick. But
yeah, that makes sense. But I also want to add too, man, real quick, like even when I notice that he is waiting for the guy to get open, like some throws, man, are like wildly bad. Like,
oh yeah,
there'd be people like I was watching the Boise State game, which I think was one of the first games of this season, and they had I think it was Polk, like a deep crosser, and like it would have been a touchdown. And when I say he was open, like he was like wide ass open, like 7 yards of space, probably more, and he just sails it over his like head. I was like, oh, that's weird. Like that's a wide open throw. And, like he just completely just sailed it over top of him. Well, like was not even close. Then I watched I think it was the Cal game. I saw the same thing. He just like sailed it. I'm like, dude, like, and I watched him live a few times, and I thought like I didn't see those issues come up that often, but now that I watched back in the film, like, damn, his like placement and like he's not the most like precise passer at that time. So I don't know if you saw the same thing, but I was actually shocked when I like saw that.
So I think it's one of those things where in live action you kind of forget about it because they move to the next play so quickly, and they're such an explosive offense that he'll miss that shot. Then the next shot he throws a perfectly thrown ball to where only Odunze or Polk or McMillan are the only ones that can get it, and it's a 50-yard gain. You're like, oh wait, what was the previous play anyway? You kind of forget about it when you're going back and watching tape. You kind of fixate. And yeah, I think that goes right back to what we were talking about. What I was talking about earlier with his footwork. I mean, there was a time there was a playing Oregon, the Oregon Pac-12 championship game, where his body. Say I'm trying to throw at the camera. His body was facing this way, and he threw it that way. And it's just that's not a way to throw that's going to be consistent. But in the same time, same game, I think it was like a few plays after, he throws this absolute laser, perfect pass between the safety and the corner on a slot fade that only his receiver had a chance to make a catch, and he should have made a catch. He dropped it, but so it's interesting to see the duality. So if he can get his throwing mechanics cleaned up, he could be a really good passer. The problem is his throwing mechanics, his feet, they're so inconsistent right now. He doesn't like there's certain times he just doesn't even step into his throw. I mean, he'll just straight throw it from his kind of like whipping it from the hip.
From
It's
his
such a
base.
weird thing to watch.
Yeah.
And I think again, it's a testament to how strong his arm is. But it's like if you could get your feet aligned with your arm and start stepping and driving into your throws, you're going to get more consistent accuracy, and you're going to get more out of your passing. You're going to be able to, obviously be a consistent passer. Which kind of funnily leads me right into my style comp. He plays a lot to me like a Lamar Jackson that can't run. To add to your point, to go back to your point of, he's just not mobile. Like he's okay for like subtle in the pocket movements, but I think I saw him take off once. And that was it. I mean, every other time he got hawked down by a D lineman or something like that. He's not a mobile guy. So
he's not. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, I have like the same thing for style play too, and I'm with you on your point. Like if he can just fix his mechanic issues, yeah, he could be a damn good passer, like a damn good pure passer, because his arm strength is there. Like his arm strength pops off the screen. He throws on ropes. Like you can tell it's there, right? And to your point, like I don't know, it's just quote unquote being lazy. Like he knows he has arm strength. He's like, yeah, I don't need to step into it. I can throw my back foot, or I don't know. But if he can clean that stuff up, now like I don't know how much better he will get once he enters the NFL regarding that stuff, but I'm sure there is room for growth there, and if he can figure that out, yeah, I can see him working out for sure.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter if he needs to really get. It could happen in the draft process. I don't know who Lamar Jackson worked with to get his throwing mechanics, because Lamar Jackson the same way coming into the draft, his throwing mechanics were terrible. But I don't know whoever Lamar Jackson worked with. He needs, Michael Penix needs to reach out to that guy, because his
that's true.
Throwing motion's obviously cleaned up. He's much more consistent. It's why he's exploded onto the screen more as a passer now. But I've never seen a guy who gets to the right read, quickly and on time, but just doesn't deliver a good ball, because it's just. And here's to add to this too. It's wild. It's almost, how do I put this? I don't know. Never mind. He's such a rhythm thrower. Like when he's on, everything's perfect. The ball comes out perfect. Placements, screens are perfect. Deep passes are thrown perfect. It's like a machine. It's just, when it's in rhythm, it's fantastic. But the minute it gets out of rhythm, it's a drive killer. He'll miss 3 throws in a row that are wide open. It's until he gets back out there for the next drive. And I watched Washington do it. So it's kind of like you got to wind it back up. You got to give him a screen here, a screen there, a screen here. Then he's good. He's back on rhythm again. He starts making these throws back in rhythm, where he's hitting deep outs on time. He's hitting crossers in time. He's hitting out routes in time. It was such an odd thing to see. And I really hope wherever he goes, they use that same, or they need to use that same philosophy of, you need to sit him with screens. You need to build his confidence back up with screens and get him into the rhythm of throwing with the screens to then allow him to start taking more shots down the field.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, no, I kind of see the same thing. And like when plays go out of structure too, he struggles a little bit to what you said. Throwing on the run, I think he has like a 41% completion percentage, as we saw. Yeah. So it kind of raises question marks, at least for me, on the tools that he does have and how much upside there is. So Emmett, with that being said, I don't know if you have any more, but I'm dying to ask you, where do you see him falling then in this draft? Do you still think he's first round? Do you think he'll fall to round 2? Where do you see him going?
This is so mean. For those that don't have the context, I've been telling B all year the Bears need to draft Michael Penix Jr. He's a top 10 quarterback. He's a top 10 pick. Uh, and I'm sure he's still going to be a first round pick. I'm sure he'll line it up at his pro day and he'll convince some teams that he's fixed some things. For me personally, I think the sweet spot for him is a low second, high third round draft pick. Um, Again, there's enough there that you warrant the attempt to fix it and clean up the mechanics. Again, the problem is how quickly is he going to take the new mechanics? How much are they going to stay? Is it the minute he gets into a game? Does he regress back to the old mechanics? But I mean, from a mental standpoint, he seems like he's there. He seems like he gets to the right read. I didn't see him throw a whole lot of interceptions. I don't think I actually saw him throw any interceptions that were because he was confused by the defense. It was all overthrows or an underthrow on a deep route. Again, he's got a laser arm. He's not mobile, so that is what it is. Take it, but you will. Not every team uses mobile quarterbacks like that. So it's just about how much are you willing to bank on his mechanics improving, which would then therefore improve his accuracy. So
that's fair. I think that's fair. I mean, he probably end up going higher, like you said, because it's the nature of the NFL and drafts, and people love to select the quarterbacks in the first round. Yeah, and we said in this year's draft there might be a record of quarterbacks taken in the first round, so he's definitely going to be one of them. And he has a couple of opportunities on the big stage to show what he can do. Obviously, he's playing Texas here in a few weeks in the playoffs. And he is a senior, so I wonder if he'd be involved with the Senior Bowl or the senior stuff. After the season. So no, man, no. Thank you for the breakdown. Husky fans, please don't come at us. We're still fans of him. We've been on his train for before the season even started.
Oh yeah.
So I think in this case I'll more or less speak for myself. I won't speak for you, but I'm more turned away from his film because I think that we were so high on him throughout the season that we'd expected just rainbows and sunshine in his film. They kind of confirmed, he's going to be a top 10 quarterback this year, right? And then we saw there's a little bit chinks in the armor here. There's there are a little bit of red flags involved, but I think he's still a great prospect, and I'm still rooting for him. I want him to go win it all. So.
Yeah.
No, man.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely agree with that.
That's a great breakdown. Yeah.
Yeah, we were also big proponents and pushers of believing he should be, the Heisman Trophy winner, and I still stand by that. I mean, he's had a fantastic season, and when his highs are going, his highs are high, but at the same time, I feel like you get so caught up watching it live that you kind of absentmindedly forget, oh yeah, by the way, the score should be 80-7 right now because he missed 3 or 4 deep throws to guys that were wide open by themselves and just missed these. So again, it's nothing against the Washington team. It's nothing against Michael Penix. I still really hope he pans out in the NFL. I still, mentally, what's key to me is mentally he's still there. He's still getting to the right read, to the right time, to the right guy. It's just about cleaning up his accuracy, cleaning up his footwork. But yeah, you guys let us know what you think. Head down to the comment section. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? Where would you like to see him go? Let us know. We always love hearing from you guys. We always love talking, engaging with you guys. If this is where we're losing you, what's been the RFL show? I'm Emmett. I'm B. You guys can check us out on all our socials. But until next time, it's been fun. With that, we're going to move on to our last segment, which is essentially just I'm going to let B rant here for 15 minutes on the Bears.
Hell yeah, I've been waiting for this all week.
You've been texting me this for months.
Oh, man. I'm on at least 26 years of pain onto y'all.
It was this one. So,
Yeah.
The Bears are in an interesting situation. Before I let you rate and tirade, and the Bears fans who are right now tuning into this, thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate you guys. B is our regional Bears fan here on the RFL show. Please tell us in the comment section what you would love to see the Bears do with their 2 first-round draft picks in the 2024 NFL draft. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. We do these every week. We do release videos weekly with our segments coming out after. Okay, with that, B, tell me what you would love to see the Bears do this offseason to get them back to relevance.
Here we go. So, like I said, I'm going to unleash 26 years of pain here. And for those that don't know, it's a new kind of segment idea that we came up with last week. We have a segment called like "How Will We Fix the Chargers?" So, I am honored to talk about how much pain the Bears give me and what I would do if I was Kevin Warren and how would I fix the Bears. So I've broken up my thoughts into a couple of different pathways here. First, I'll talk about the staff and what I would change there, and then we'll go to the actual roster. So for the staff, if I'm Kevin Warren, I'm actually going to retain Ryan Poles. I know there's a lot of thoughts and people out there on at least Bears Twitter. Oh, we should probably let go of Ryan. Maybe it'd be easier to bring in the GM and new staff at once. You're on the same page. All that stuff. I for one think that Ryan Poles has done an okay to good job so far. I won't go all the details here, but I will let him finish out his rebuilding vision, and I'm gonna keep him on staff. So that's my first move. And then, if you guys know me at all, you guys will know my answer to this. Flus is gone on January 8th. Okay, not even on January 7th. Whatever the last game is. As soon as that clock hits all zeros, I'm telling buddy, you gotta move out, bro. Like you are done. Might as well cancel your like lease right now. Yeah, I don't know where you're staying, but already have people there moving like your stuff right now, actually, in like boxes. You are gone. Okay. And I'm going with, of course, if you're a Bears fan, you're probably thinking the same way. I'm going with an offensive focused mind for a new head coach. So there are a couple names out there. Obviously, we talk about this name every year. I just had to bring it up. I doubt it'll happen. Probably 0% chance. But Jim Harbaugh is out there. If you hear this, Jim, and you want a new color blue, a color blue that you wore before, come on over. We'll love to have you. The name Ben Johnson, the Lions OC, has been thrown around for a while now. Shane Waldron, the Seahawks OC, has been out there a little bit too. You have Eric Bieniemy, of course. He's been around the circuit for a few years, haven't been able to get that head coaching gig. Maybe that could be a viable option there for the Bears. This is a name might actually shock you, but I was doing some research. I'm like, it makes sense. He has experience. He's been around for a while, and he's with a team right now that's pretty bad, but maybe they can turn things around with the Bears. Bill O'Brien. I kind of forgot about him, but he's out there right now in good old Boston area. Yeah. I know, shocking. I know, but he has experience. I do have him listed like 6 on my list, so I'm not going to be jumping for joy if we get him. But he's out there. And another name that's a little bit. He's not as well known, but he took a big jump in his career going into the season because the guy ahead of him got hired for a head coach gig. Brian Johnson, the Eagles OC, and his name kind of sparked a little bit in case if the Bears do go the route of staying with Fields. He worked with Hurts for a couple seasons. He worked with Fields, it's just like the same skill set. See what happens there. Okay, so enough about possible names for the head coaching job for the Bears. Okay. Questions. Okay, questions from the press. Okay.
From the press. I got one additional name I think you should look into. Maybe the Bears, since we're talking about college coaches, go with Harbaugh and stuff. Why not Kalen DeBoer?
I don't know who is that. I don't even know.
You know who that is? I guarantee you know who that is.
I don't.
You just watched a bunch of his team. He's the Washington Huskies head coach. Now, again, I was very much impressed with watching their offense. They used a lot of shifts. They used a lot of motions and stuff. They went to more compact formations to try to get the defense to show what they're doing, making it a lot easier for Michael Penix to determine what was going on. They allowed him to make checks at the line. It got to the point where even when I was watching the tape live, I knew what the defense was going to do pre-snap because of how much motions and shifts they did. But I will also tell you, guess what his record is coaching?
At Washington or for his whole career?
Whole career as a head coach. Washington, he's 24-2.
Okay. He's probably been coaching for a while, so give me like 110 or something like that.
He's been a head coach since it looks like he might have been Fresno State in 2020. It might have been his first head coaching opportunity. If I'm seeing it, I might be
You said in
missing it. So if you're
2021.
2020, so if you're a Washington fan, please let us know
Oh,
when his actual head coaching first opportunity came. But apparently, his head coaching record is 103-11.
that's like close. Okay.
He's a former
Okay,
receiver
that
at
seems like a
Sioux
viable
Falls
option.
too. He was born in South
So
Dakota.
he just wins.
He just wins everywhere he seems to go.
Am I a jerk if I feel a little bit hezzy about hiring a coach who only had college experience being head coach before making him like NFL head coach?
No, I don't think
That'd be
so.
my
There's
one
obviously
thought.
been some kind of trend with coaches jumping from college to the NFL. But I mean, he seems to run a good NFL style of offense. He's a former, like I say, he's a former receiver. He schemes things open well for certain receivers. So I don't know. I thought maybe put it out there as a
Is there?
potential thought for Bears fans.
No.
But anyway, I'll let you continue to
That's a
rant. Sorry.
good thought for us. No, that's a good thought for us. And I feel like a jerk because I've watched so many like he was on the Pat McAfee show or College Game Day one week, and I was watching his talk, and I didn't even know his name. So no, that's a good thought, man. Thank you. And then for the new OC who I would hire, I literally put on here no effing clue. Like I don't know because my mindset is I'm gonna hire the offensive minded coach to be head coach. So like I'm going to hire a rising OC to be the head coach. So OC can be whatever, I guess. Like we can promote some quarterback coach somewhere, I guess. Okay. I don't know. For new DC, I didn't have a whole laundry list of names here because it's like whatever. I did have Sean Desai. He is a DC for the Eagles right now as a possible reunion. He was actually the DC for the Bears back in 2020. And he was with the staff for a couple years. I think he coached corners or safeties. And I guess things might be a little bit shaky right now with the Eagles because he's got kind of replaced by Matt Patricia for DC last week, and then we turned out well, I guess, for the team. But I don't know. Maybe things are shaky there. Another guy who's actually in Hallis Hall right now, and this guy interviewed for the DC role of the Chargers last year. He is Dave Borgonzi. He's the current Bears linebacker coach. So obviously, usually when the head coach is fired, the whole staff kind of moves on. But maybe Kevin Warren, seeing as though this guy wants to take a step into a DC role, might want to retain him and just keep him here in Chi-Town. Lastly, a name. Yeah, Jared Mayo is another name I saw. I was thinking about, but that one too. Another name that you know actually. It was pretty intriguing. I think Jim Leonard. He interviewed for a DC role last year. Yeah,
with the Packers.
Yeah, I was like,
Wisconsin defensive
maybe.
coordinator. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. He's
okay.
He's right down the road. He's at U of I right now. So he's like right down the road. So, and he interviewed for a role last year. I don't have a team, but he's been around the circuit for a while. He's been around the game for a while. I think that'd be cool hire, a cool fit. So, yeah. Do you have any questions from? Yeah.
No, I was thinking it's like, oh, who'd be a good former like the Brian Flores or Jim Schwartz, like a guy that got an opportunity to be a head coach and flamed out. Usually they're a great defensive coordinator still. I was thinking like, oh, Brandon Staley, but no, his defenses seem terrible. Jim Leonard, I like that. I like that a lot. Because I know Packers fans, Wisconsin fans actually want him to take over as the head coach when Paul Chryst was fired because he had been so successful as a defense coordinator for so long there. And then Packers fans wanted him to come on as their defense coordinator. They wanted to fire Joe Barry and make him the defense coordinator. So that would be, and U of I think U of I's had a good defense this year, haven't they? Is he as an assistant or is it an actual defensive coordinator?
I don't think he's a defensive coordinator. I think he's more like
Just
like he think he's just like helping out the unit. I think I don't think
yeah,
he's the
it's
actual
like an
DC there.
advisor or something. Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that'd be
Yeah,
an exciting hire
I'll be
for the
down
dude.
for that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that
it's a
dude's an
double
awesome
dip.
coach, man.
And it's a double dip because Wisconsin people, fans of the program and the Packers, would fucking hate it if the Bears
Oh
signed
yeah,
their golden boy Jim Leonard. Oh, they would be
you know, you
rolling
know,
themselves
we
up.
can't beat them on the fields. We gotta beat them in other ways. So we gotta cause a little bit of angst there somehow. Um,
So get under their skin
but
somehow.
yeah, yeah. So for my fellow Bear fans out there, for a football fan, if you're watching this, to recap, my staff changes. If I was Kevin Warren, Flus and the gang, you're out of there. Find an offensive minded OC, rising OC, hire him as head coach. And then we'll start to search for our DC and OC, and then we just keep this train moving. Moving over to the roster moves. Okay, so going to this offseason, the resources the Bears have right now, their estimated cap space for 2024 is $53 million. I thought it was a little bit lower than what I thought I saw on Twitter and stuff like that, but the article I read says $53 million. So if I'm wrong about that, sorry. And then the projected draft picks I have for 2024 include 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, two fourths, and a fifth. They do have 5 picks in the top like 130-ish. So got some room there for good old draft picks. Talk about the roster though. Talk about the players. The players are on the team right now. Eddie Jackson, Cody White here. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Eddie
This is
Jackson getting
more
that cut?
emotional for Eddie. I'm about to say it's really emotional for me
Oh,
to say this because Eddie's my like dude, but Cody White here.
Eddie.
I don't care, dude. You are gone. Okay,
You're gonna get your
but
release when
Eddie,
he
I
gets his
think he'll
release.
be. Yeah, it's going to hit good when he's gone. Let's just say that. But I think Eddie, there's enough there to salvage like his play at least, but his contract is pretty hefty right now. So I think he's going to be a victim, just like trying to save cap space here. Cutting Eddie and Cody White here results in the Bears saving $22 million in cap space. So from what I saw in my research, after making those 2 moves, the Bears would increase their cap space from 53 million to around 75. I just think it's the way it goes. Unless he wants to restructure his deal somehow, I'm not sure how that works with the cap stuff. I've been a football fan my whole life, but still don't understand about the cap moves and stuff like that. So let's Eddie Jackson wants to restructure somehow. That's fine. But Cody White here, you have no choice, dude. You are gone. And of course, we have to give a bag to Jalen Johnson. He definitely deserves it. Extend that man for 3 or 4 seasons. If not, if both sides still can't see eye to eye, you have to tag him. But either way, Jalen Johnson's staying here. Another emotional one, but it's just the way it works. I am not going to extend Darnell Mooney. Reasoning: this wasn't a whole lot on the field this year, and they also have rookie Tyler Scott right now. And Tyler Scott's skill set is pretty much the same to like Mooney's. So I'm going with the cheaper option here, the younger option too. I'm keeping Tyler Scott for that wide receiver, I guess 3 role. And I'm letting Mooney walk. And Lucas Patrick, fan favorite. I say that with a lot of cringe, angst, and pain because we know he is not a fan favorite. I am not re-signing him unless, it's like a $1 million guard or center depth role. But sorry, he is gone too. Okay, so let's go after
So,
making all those moves. Sorry. Yep.
So it looks like most of your stuff was not re-signing. The only cuts you made were Eddie Jackson and Cody Whitehair. Both look like they aren't eligible for restructure. I'm on spot track. For the guys who don't know.
Thank you. Research
with those moves, the Bears would have $85 million in cap space for 2024.
Thank you.
The highest cap hit would be Montez.
We are making moves. Mm-hmm. Love that. Thank you for that. So after making those moves, we have $85 million. And again, cutting White here, cutting Jackson, We're going to extend Jalen, give him that well-earned bag, letting Mooney walk, and going to let Patrick walk, which is whatever. And then, okay, so now we're going to free agency, okay, y'all? And right now I have the big spots of need. We need a starting free safety. We need a starting center. We need another edge. And then we need a nice wide receiver 2. We need a tight end 2. And then, of course, we need some O-line depth, right? And quarterback, question mark. We'll get to that in a second. That's a tease. All right, so free agent targets, the top free agents out there, okay? There's actually a lot of big names. I didn't know these many big names will be out there. Well, of course, like we still have yet to see if they'll actually hit the open market. But some of the names out there, Josh Allen, of course, edge, not the quarterback. T. Higgins, Brian Burns, Antoine Winfield Jr., Michael Pittman Jr., Daniil Hunter, Mike Evans, and Calvin Ridley, which I thought Ridley just like started playing with the Jags, but I guess because he was he didn't play the whole year, so maybe that counts as like a year in his contract. I don't know. Now again, these guys might not hit the market. They might get extended, tagged, whatever. But there's a good amount of receivers and edges out there that if Ryan Poles decides to be aggressive, now I don't expect him to be in the free agent market because he spent a lot of money this year. He gave Edmonds a bag. He signed Edwards. He extended Komet. I'm missing one, I think. Oh, Sweat, of course. We inherited his contract.
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, and then we'll give Jalen his well-deserved bag. So I don't expect him to be a big baller in free agency, but if he did want to take up like a Mike Evans, even though he's a little bit older or whatever, or a Brian Burns to sure up the edge there, I'll be in favor of that. So
let's do this.
Go ahead.
So let's do this. Tell me which receiver you want to add, and I can add him to your roster and give him a salary cap hit, so we can see how it.
Oh, I like this.
Okay.
I like this.
It's
like deal or like no deal. Out of this list here, I would want to try to go after. Let's see what T. Higgins could do with this Bears roster.
T. Higgins. So does that take you out of the Marvin Harrison Jr. sweepstakes then?
It could. We'll get to that in a second. That's a second tease.
Oh, okay. I love being teased. All right. And who else you want to add? You want to add an edge? What edge are we adding here?
I mean, we can just go for fun. I personally want to add 2 big names because, they want to save up a little bit of cap space and address it in the draft. But let's just say this is Madden, and I want me some Brian Burns. Come on down. Come on down.
The Panthers just re-signed him. Who else you want?
Oh,
I got to
all right. Well, I guess
I
gotta make it realistic. I thought it was gonna be a fun game here, but okay, I got sweat a little bit. Give me Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Okay.
Yeah. Might as well go big or go bro.
Why is he not on my list of free agents?
Oh, he's not. I thought he'd be on there. If he's not, and the PFF sucks. That's all I'm gonna say.
Maybe they do.
I read some guy's article of the top 100 free agent targets, and he was definitely on there.
So the available free agents we have here are Brian Burns, Yannick Ngakoue, Brendyn Graham, Danico Autry, Calais Campbell. It's got listed a bunch of other guys. Marcus Davenport's a good one. Dwayne Smoots is a good one. Let's see who else we got here. Ooh, Dante Fowler Jr., Chase Young potentially, Jordan Phillips.
Just for sake of example, let's go with that Davenport guy just to keep it flowing.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to interrupt the flow too much here. So let's add Davenport on to here. He's from Minnesota too. Any other free agents you want? Any last minute free agents?
That's all. We're good. We're good on that.
So you signed T. Higgins for $24 million.
Nice. Okay. 24 big ones.
Marcus Davenport, you got a good deal on him. You're signing him for $13 million.
Okay. So
that leaves you about $27 million in free.
Nice. Okay. So you're playing around with 60-ish left after that, 50-something-ish, whatever. It's in there somewhere. Cool. Well, after, of course, we send Jalen, so it'll be a little bit less than that too. So cool. So let's just say like 40-ish.
Actually, in this case,
Oh, you already factored in.
I signed Jalen Johnson to $21 million.
Nice. Okay.
So
we're playing around
27 million with all those.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So now we just addressed the free agents. We got receiver and an edge. And this takes me to my next point about the draft. So as of right this second, going to week 16, the Bears hold the first pick and they hold the 5th pick. And guys, I'm only going to go through the first round. I'm not going to give you a 7-round mock of what I think the Bears will do. So we're talking about the first round. The first round here only, okay? They had the first pick and the 5th pick, and again, that is subject to change the way the season pans out, but whatever. This is why I went after a receiver in free agency, because we might be out of the MHJ sweepstakes, being at pick 5. Now, if this was at 3, it would be a little bit different. And I know Malik Neighbors is there, all that stuff, but my mindset, I wanted that true prototypical X receiver. Tall guy, they can high point the ball, jump ball, all that stuff. Higgins fits that mold, just like Marvin. So that's why I went the way I did. Sorry, y'all, if y'all are mad about that. But okay, whatever. So let's talk about the main event, the quarterback. Okay, if I'm Ryan Poles, what am I doing with that first pick? And it's tough. It's tough, man. Because on one hand, you can trade back. You can get at least 3 firsts, maybe a player. We keep our hometown hero Justin here in Chicago, and whatever. And if you take Caleb at 1, you get a pure passer. You get to reset the quarterback clock. As you just heard, we spent a lot of money on other pieces, so maybe we don't want to give Justin a bag in 2 years or whatever. But I think it's not what I really want. So don't curse me out yet, Bears fans. But I think Ryan will take Caleb at number 1. And the reason why, well, there's many reasons, but think of it from his POV. Okay? I know it's a shocker. I feel like puking when I say it, but I think that 1, Caleb is a really good prospect. Okay, he might not be generational, but he is good. Okay, and if you're Ryan Poles, right, and let's say Kevin Warren comes to your office and say, "Hey, I'm about to can the entire staff." You hire that staff. This team did not perform to the level that we want them to this season. Why should I keep you around? What do you think the first thing Ryan Poles might say is? Well, I didn't draft my own quarterback. I didn't draft Fields. Let me go get my guy, right? Because that buys him another 3 years to see how the new guy pans out. So that's why, one of the main reasons why I think they will move on from Fields. And it's sad to say, but he just might be that scapegoat. He might. And kind of makes sense too to bring in a new head coach who will also be the play caller, pair him with the new quarterback, happy marriage, and maybe the Bears finally have a good offense after 100 years of not having a good offense. Whatever. But this goes to my second point. Okay, let's say the Bears somehow lose the first pick. I think, for me personally, this where things will get intriguing, right? Because again, I'm speaking for myself. Ryan Poles said a couple weeks ago that he will have to take a quarterback if the quarterback, quote unquote, blows him away. Okay? So it's obviously a beauty and a high of the beholder scenario. How does Ryan Poles feel about the rest of the QB class outside of Caleb? For me personally, none of the other quarterbacks have blown me away. Drake May's good. He's good. He's a great prospect. But does he, in Ryan Poles' criteria, blow me away? He does not. So what happens then? I don't know. Maybe the Bears stick with Fields. It's possible. Or, again, if Ryan Poles falls on the sword of, hey, you gotta let me have more time with this franchise because I didn't take my own guy. Maybe he just goes with the Drake May. Maybe he goes with the Jaden Daniels. I don't know. But I think if the Bears are at 1, I'm putting my money on them drafting Caleb. Even though I want Justin to pan out. I'm not saying I'm done with Justin. I love him. But I'm trying to think of the mind of Ryan Poles. And then with the 5th pick, they're out of range of Marvin. So, and then in our made up example, we took an edge. So we don't need like a, what's his first name? Something Verse out of Florida State. We probably don't need to go after him. Yep. Thank you. Maybe this is the prime example where Ryan Poles does trade back a little bit. Maybe he wants a few picks. Maybe he already addressed the quarterback spot with Caleb. Or maybe go grab yourself a Brock Bowers. We just said we need another tight end. We need a receiving tight end. Cole Kmet's great, but he's more on the blocking spectrum of tight end. Go get yourself Brock Bowers, maybe. But, okay. So as a recap, I know I said a lot here. Depending on what Ryan Poles does in free agency, that'll set up the draft. As of right now, the Bears at picks 1 and 5. I do think at 1, they'll take a quarterback. I think at 5, you address the offensive weapons and get yourself a Brock Bowers, or hey, maybe if you want to trade back a little bit and get neighbors, sure up that room, sure, do it. But yeah, I'm gonna go puke now because I feel sad. And scene, we're done.
Well, we got that therapy session out of the way. Yeah, I absolutely agree with a lot of the decisions you make. I think coaches influences got to go with the young guy, offensive coordinator. And when I kind of think about the Washington example, the more I kind of like bringing in that guy. He's a young, maybe under the radar signing. And it's not like Washington's known for getting handed all these elite 5-star prospects. So I think he's really good at working with what he has, which is a much more translatable skill to the NFL than being able to be your own GM, like Nick Saban experienced or a Chip Kelly experienced, where they're just these elite recruiter guys. So I think that might translate well. So I think I'm more just sign myself on that idea. Quarterback situation, yep. I agree. Here's why I agree. It'd be time to move on from Justin Fields, not because I think Justin's bad. Just it's time to reset the clock. I mean, you can draft, as we kind of discussed in our Jaden Daniels video, you can draft a Jaden Daniels and get pretty much where Justin Fields is right now in his current development, but resetting the rookie clock. So whether you want to take Jaden Daniels at 5 and you want to go with Marvin Harrison Jr. at 1 or a different offensive weapon or something in the trenches with one of those first 2 picks, it opens you up to more options in that regard. Plus, you're going to be able to flip Justin Fields for hopefully a 2nd or 3rd round pick from whoever trades for him, Atlanta. But whoever trades for him, wherever he may end up going. So yeah, I think it gives you more draft capital work. I would love to see them boost that room with T. Higgins, and then you still take Marvin Harrison Jr. Just really overkill the position with fantastic receivers. Oh, that would be so fun to watch for whoever they bring in at quarterback. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's just, I think that might be, if he did do that and Marvin Harrison Jr. panned out like he's supposed to pan out, you may just have the best wide receiver room in NFL history at that point.
That'd be wild.
Yeah, so I mean, even then you can spend the rest of the draft pretty much just focusing on the trenches with either O-line or D-line, but building that up. I think those moves would all make great progress to bringing the Bears back to relevance. And then the Jim Leonard hiring at defensive coordinator would be fantastic. But yeah, I think you got to get in the draft. I think you got to go special with your first 2 picks. You get a new quarterback just to reset that clock. Now, again, nothing against Justin Fields, but it does save you a lot of money. And then, yeah, building the trenches yeah. There. But
Can I say one last statement to end this segment? Last statement to the Bears
therapy session
team or Bears fan base. Yeah. I just want to say, guys, whoever we take a quarterback, we have to treat the kid better. Okay. I'll be honest. If I was quarterback for the Bears, I would hate my life. Okay. I don't know how Justin Fields suits up every Sunday. I really don't. Bears fans, we are miserable. That it does help, and he's with Dunkin', so he's getting free donuts and drinks, so it works. It definitely works. But we have to just be better, man. I think from day one he stepped into way too high of expectations. I think, and I don't know. I know when he does his like interviews, he says he's grateful for the Bears fan base and all that. He says the right stuff, right? But the back of his mind is probably like, these motherfuckers stink, bro. Like they come after me and stuff like that. So I think we just gotta treat the players better too. And the Bears hey, y'all are not off the hook. You guys deserve the most accountability here. How many first round quarterbacks do we need to pick until they just fizzle? Like, how come we can't get a guy to reach his second contract, right? Mitchell, okay, I get it. It was an awful pick though, but the talent was not there. We saw that. He did not deserve to be here past his 4 years, whatever. Okay, fine. But how many times are we going to swing the bat and this be ass? Like, come on. Like, we have to be some better infrastructure in place with this org. You know, there's some teams out there, no matter who they have, they make it work, right? Because the org is built from the top down. Our org is not. I don't know how our org is built, but it's just the foundation is cracked and it's bad. And I just hope that after taking the third quarterback in the first round over the last how many years it's been since 2017, like at some point we gotta make it work. 6. I mean, come on. Like how many? Come on. Even Rex Grossman with first round selection, they actually made it to a second contract, which was kind of sad. That one, I don't know why they even did that, but you know, like we gotta make it work at some point, guys. Come on. How many chances are we gonna get? Come on. Like, so that's just my rant. That's my therapy session. Thank you for listening out there. Hopefully, if you're a Bears fan, you kind of feel the same pain. Yeah. But thank you.
So
thank you
so much for tuning into therapy after the National Football League show. We really appreciate you guys tuning with us and listening us rant and ramble and get out our demons here. Bears fans, please in the comment section communicate with me. We'll start support group for you guys. It'll be all good. And again, I'm not going to make a comment on anything as a 49ers fan in our quarterback history because ours is just as bad as yours.
No, it's not. It's not even close.
Next Christmas.
Can we just have one that works out? Just one, please. Just one. All right, I'm done. I'm going to bed.
I mean, Super Bowl.
I'm pouring a drink.
Oh,
I'm pouring a drink.
But before he gets to that, thank you so much for tuning in. I think this guy's going to love hearing from you. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell us what you think about B's plan for rebuilding the Bears. Let us know what you do differently. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. We do this every week. We always enjoy talking with you guys down there. Until next time, it's been Emmett. It's been B. For the RFL show, you guys can check us on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and Instagram, and Twitter. But y'all have a good night, okay? Have